Hi. Morning. Morning, morning. Morning, morning, morning. Today's the day. Today is the day that I'd like to say we've all been waiting for, but it's probably just me. Dune in June begins in, well, for me, it begins in 10 hours. For many other people, it'll begin in about 6. I've put on the forum. The forum? Oh my god, how old am I? On the Discord. It comes out at 3 o'clock my time. Oh, actually, I'm really curious. I'm curious whether this actually worked or not. If I can remember where I put it. Oh, that's where I put it. Wait, okay. Anyone who is in a different time zone, anyone who is in a different time zone to the UK, who is in the Dune Discord section, what time does my Discord message say I'm starting tonight's stream? Because I tried to be clever and I don't know if it worked. A little bit of forums were so much better than Discord. Good luck trying to find an older topic discussion. Well, little bit. That's. I mean, there is a way you can actually set up Discord, so it works a little bit like forums. So I've noticed it in a couple of other larger forums. If you set up like questions and answers play areas, you can create threads. You can create threads, and the threads have a search function. And so what you can do is like, hey, I'm trying to learn how to play this game. Hey, I'm trying to learn how to play this other game. Hey, I'm trying to find this movie. And they all go into separate threads and they all have their own little reply sections. So, you know, if you can convince all of the Discords that you're on to do that, then you can feel like you're on a forum again. Carnage, know what you're doing for Worlds yet? No. Unfortunately. I sent Doc a message yesterday. I'm working on the basis. Yana, it says 8 o'clock for you. Yes! Okay, it says 7 o'clock for me. That's great. If it says 8 o'clock for you, it says 7 o'clock for me. That means it's working. And then it might be working for Carnage. Unless, of course, Carnage is in Australia. Then I'm going to query whether you're using a VPN. But yeah. One of the German partner ones says they start at 4. Which, yeah, so yeah, for you guys it'll be 4 p.m. For us, it's 3 p.m. And then obviously for the guys over in America, depending which coast they're on, it'll be starting in the morning for them, won't it? That's nice. That's nice. But yeah, I'm not going to try and jump on at 3. Because I just think that I anticipate the servers at 3 p.m. just going and having a terrible, terrible time. So I'm going to log on this evening, which hopefully will give a little bit more time. What I'm presuming is going to happen with what we've talked about with the private servers. I know Doc has talked about getting a private server. I don't know for definite if he's getting one. But I presume I presume people can transfer to a private server, and that seems to be some of the stuff that's been talked about. That seems to be the indication that when it's talked about like visitors claiming land and stuff. So I'm presuming if I start on a server tonight, if Doc doesn't have a private server, if I start on a server tonight. And then Doc, say, gets a private server over the weekend, I am presuming I can move to it. So I think the only restriction will be is I need to be on a North American server to move. Like I don't. So in terms of the only thing I've narrowed down right now is I'll be on a North American server. And then in terms of the private server, if it's ready on time, if it's, you know, if he does end up getting one and it's there on at that time, then yeah, I'll do it. But if not, I'll just get on an American server and we'll go from there. Carnage, you endorse it. Okay. And in which case, yes, it's okay that yours says 7 o'clock too. Lord Elston, yours says 10:30 because you're in Bratislava. Well, okay. Max, hello, Max. I went and I got myself, I want to say I got myself a little bit of a treat, but it's been a bit of a disappointment. Oh, gold. I don't need to take it out on the microphone, though. That's unnecessary. The brand of coffee that I get have released a cold brew coffee, which, before anyone says it, I'm well aware I could make cold brew coffee, but I was curious how this was going to be. Like, would it be special and delicious and great? It's really not worth it. But it was like you buy like a bottle. Rather, I don't mean like when I say I bought a cold brew, I don't just mean like a single like serving that you'd buy in a supermarket just for like your lunch. I mean like a bottle where you like make up the cold brew coffee each morning. It's not very exciting. It's not very exciting at all compared to just making my own. Like, it's just like the height of unnecessary steps. I'll drink it, but it's, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so tonight my plan is to start at 7 o'clock my time, or whatever time it says on the Discord right now. That's the plan to start tonight. There are drops which, really weirdly, when I was looking at it yesterday, the drops were not on my Twitch, but they were today. So I don't know if they were added. I don't really get what happened there, because they tend to show things ahead of time, but I didn't see them yesterday, so I wasn't sure if I was going to have them. But I do have the Twitch drops, so they're enabled, and that'll be great and fun. And then the plan is to stream every day for as long as my sanity can hold together, for at least the first 5 days. And then when the 10th gets here, I'll take a judgment call. To be honest, I will take a judgment call of how busy it is. If it's not busy at all, then I'll scale back to regular streaming time. But what I'm also keen to do, so when I say I'm going to stream every day, I'm also going to try and stream at every time of day, except for nighttime. I'm not changing my schedule enough that I'm going to stop sleeping. I'm still going to sleep because I kind of need sleep. I've not ascended to the point where I, don't need sleep anymore. But I am going to try streaming in the mornings, in the afternoons, and the evenings, and I may, depending how busy things are, like during those streams, I might alter my schedule a bit. Not that I'm going to get rid of daytime streams altogether, because obviously we need some. If daytime turns out to be really quiet for Dune, then we just bring back the art. The art is here. That's why we have the art. We have the art streams during the day. So if it's really quiet during the days, we'll just we'll have more art. Even if it's busy during the days, we're not going to get rid of art altogether. Like, that's not happening. I still want the art to be here. I can't put all my eggs in the Dune basket. But yeah, if the evenings, a bit like the open beta, if certain times of day prove to be really popular, like they were during the open beta, I mean, that might have just been the open beta because it was new and wasn't here. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. But the plan is to stream as much as possible so I can hopefully build a little bit of traction and try and gauge when the interest is in Dune. That's my goal. Because I mean, I could just stream all the time. I could just stream all the time, but I think I'd just end up getting bored. So I'd rather try and focus Dune on the times of day that are reaping the most benefits. Lord Elston, you're not watching because you don't want to encourage this sort of behaviour. No. Lord Elston, there will still be art time. There will still be art time. Art time is still going to happen. We're not losing the art, but we are seeing when Dune is going to work best. Yeah. Yeah. What else is there? Oh yeah, sorry, just coming back to the which server to be on as well, Carnage. So I'm going with a US server because in terms of people who have expressed an interest in the game, not gonna lie, you are the only person. You are the only person on the European servers. I'm really sorry, but you have said that you are prepared to go on a US server as well. And hopefully, if a private server does happen, like, I can't guarantee it because I'm not paying for it, so I can't guarantee anything in that way. That's, you know, that's completely whether someone else wants to do that. Hopefully, if there is a private server, maybe the ping will be all right for us. Hopefully that won't be too shabby. Is this light really bright? It feels like this light's really bright. Should we do that? We'll do that. Just this side of my face is very exposed. But yeah, so there might be schedule changes coming. Well, I mean, there is a schedule change coming. I'm going to be an absolute mad lad and start streaming morning, afternoon, and evening. I will be taking a break between the afternoon and evening streams. Otherwise, I don't. While I could, while I could stream for 15 hours. I don't actually think there's that much benefit to streaming for 15 hours. So I will do like the morning and afternoon as a stream, and then I'll take like a 1 to 2 hour break, and then I will come back in the evening for a whole separate stream. So that's how each of the days is going to work. The Wednesday will be slightly different, because I still have to do things outdoors. So the Wednesday stream will still be slightly different, but I will try and get some streaming in on the Wednesday as well. Yeah. So next week, I don't know what's going to happen with the art streams. Because I really, as I say, I'm trying. One of the main things I'm trying to do this is to see when people are interested in Dune. So there might be no art streams next week. Because if it turns out that Dune's really popular in the morning, then we could do Dune in the morning, we could do art in the afternoon instead. Like, I could switch those round. But next week there might be no art streams. But that will only be for next week. The week after, we will absolutely have art streams back in, because that's what I want. Carnage, you got one person you know that only wants to play in the EU, got you. But yeah, to come and do US Guild Fund, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things with the guild. So the guild is called the Barley Brew Brothers, for anyone who's not read the stuff. So the Barley Brew Brothers is the guild. Its primary purpose is for me and Practical Rook to be creating hopefully some YouTube content. So I've got the Barley Brew Brothers YouTube channel, which at the moment I don't actually know if I should stream directly to it or not. I'm a little bit torn. Or whether the Barley Brew Brothers channel should be just a bit more edited. Not 100% sure. Lord Elston, you have to go see a castle. Enjoy seeing the castle. Have a great time with that. I love castles. I really do. I love castles. Are so cool. What was I going to say? Yeah. So the purpose of the guild is primary purpose is to create content between me and Rook. But equally, you know, if people like the guild is there also. Like the secondary purpose is just so anyone who's playing, who just wants to, you know, possibly link up with other people playing, that's kind of, you know, the thing of like, because trying to work out who's in your time zone, who's available, who's around, just knowing you've got some people to throw questions at. Because if you're like me, I'm well aware that there is a Dune Discord. I'm fully aware that there is a Dune Discord. I don't really want to go on there where there's like 100,000 people, and I'm just like, they're going, "Could someone tell me how to do where the quest is?" And then, you know, because but if actually, yeah, no, I can confirm now that I was one of the beta testers for Dune. I'm allowed to say that now. I can't really tell you much else beyond that, but I can tell you I was one of the beta testers for Dune. And so for the last 4 months, like I started in February. There were people before then, but I started back in February. So I was beta testing the game, which, you know, I've kind of had to get. So stupid. It's so stupid. I've already expressed many of these things, but like, you know, we weren't even supposed to say that we were under NDA, which is the most ridiculous statement. But anyway, no, I was beta testing the game for at least the last, like, what, 4 or 5 months. And having seen that Discord, I tend to avoid large Discords because they just, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like everyone on the Discord is terrible, but when you get into a large Discord, just percentage-wise, there's going to be a lot of dickheads, and the dickheads are usually the loudest people. So what it means is, like, I don't really want to go to big Discords and go and ask questions and stuff and try to have a chat, which is part of why I want the guild. So there's just a few people together who can ask questions, and we all are trying to work together. And also for when we go to the deep desert, I have done, like, you can do the deep desert solo, because I've done it. I've done the deep desert solo, but you can't really fully experience it solo. You need a team when you go to the deep desert. So that's kind of like the idea. The guild is going to be relatively casual. So like the whole thing of like, you're there going, yeah, cool, I'll jump onto the US one and I just want to go and be a miner crafter. Great, fantastic, cool. If that's what you want to do, there isn't going to be any. Well, certainly from me, there will be no pressure from me for you to be doing specific things. Like, hey, we're doing this event, you have to be here or you're out the guild. The only time I'm really gonna be any kind of, this is the guild, rah, 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 is if you are being detrimental to it. And by detrimental, I mean, like, you know, you steal all the resources. I'm going to leave it at that. If you steal all the resources, and I class stealing as the resources as if you take them and don't replace any, then, you know, if you're doing stuff like that, I'll be a bit salty. Or if you're interrupting when we're making content, you know, like if you're trying to get in the camera shot, if you're trying to like put things in the way, just trying to do whatever, then that kind of stuff will make me a bit salty. But if if people just want to be running around in the background, mining and crafting, have at it. That's because that's kind of like what I was like when I used to play WoW. Know all those good building spots. I know where the guild fortress is going to be. The guild fortress is going to be where I built during the beta, because I know how big the area is, and I know what I want to do with it, and I'm kind of happy that I can make something that's strategically relevant while also giving me the space to do a build that I think could be interesting. So yeah. Dan dies in front of the camera, bearded Dan. Yes, Dan, are you gonna get the game, Dan? Have you made a decision yet, or are you just happy to watch from the shadows? Because at the moment, I think there's 6 of us. There's 6 of us at the moment. And you know what's really frustrating? See, this is one of the frustrating things. I can't show you what I built in the beta test. Like, so in terms of, so what I can and can't do. And do you know what daft? Do you know what's daft? In terms of what I can and can't tell you, I have to break one of the rules to tell you what I can and can't tell you. A little bit like telling you that I'm under NDA. Like, I'm not allowed to tell you that I'm under NDA, but I kind of have to explain it, which means I have to break the NDA to tell you that I'm under NDA. Stupid. So I'm allowed to tell you that I was in the testing. I'm allowed to give you a high-level impression of the game, which you already know. So therein lies kind of the problem. You already know my high-level impression by the fact that I'm going to play the game and stream it for loads. So I think it's reasonable to assume that I'm happy enough with the game that I'm going to play it. What I'm not allowed to tell you is I'm not allowed to go into what testing was done. I'm not allowed to show you screenshots. I can't show you any of the communications with the developers or the publishers. I can't tell you anything that happened during the testing, but I'm allowed to say to you, I liked this game enough that I'm going to play it. So that's really kind of all it is. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a shame. I also get, I don't know exactly when I'm going to get it. What if you put it as your screensaver and just walk away? Well, funny enough, I do have screenshots. I do have screenshots on my PC, but they were for in the NDA Discord. But they do technically exist, Dan. They do. They're technically they're technically just over there, like just behind chat. They're kind of just behind chat. But it's okay, because essentially what's going to happen is one of the things that I was doing during beta testing, from a personal point of view, this isn't explaining game mechanics, this is just how I approach it. I was practicing what I want to do when the game goes live. So you will in a roundabout way, get to see what I built, because I'm going to build essentially probably about 80 to 90% of what I built during testing, because there are a few bits I want to tweak, because there are also server wipes. I'm not supposed to tell you that. I'm not supposed to tell you that, but I don't, fuck off. Just like, it's not that hard to imagine, is it? There were server wipes, so I had to do builds multiple times. And also, while builds were fun for me, so it was great for me because builds are fun, it's also part of the testing, because then they get to see things like, does it lag the game out? Like, I remember when I used to play Rust, I used to build bases so large in Rust that they would lag out the server, and so I had to start restraining myself, because it was causing problems for other people, the size of the bases that I would construct in Rust. And so I was curious from my perspective, I was curious to see how that would play out on this thing. Because I don't want to lag people out. But equally I want to, if I'm going to get the option to build a fortress, I'm going to build a fortress, so we'll see how that goes. Seems like the long testing they did really make this game community gem. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the testing, while I was involved for since February, it was going back to 2023. Like, they've been testing this thing for a long time, I think. Yeah. Yanni asked later then if the devs were helpful with the no, you can't ask me later. I'm not allowed to tell you. You're not allowed to know. I don't know, what will happen. I'm reasonably certain they wouldn't sue me. It's probably not worth their time to sue me. Well, I suppose they could kick me out of the game. But anyway. But yeah. Demon, hello Demon. Missed out on the beta, so you wanted to play that game. Does look like a great game from the streams you saw. Missed playing a good MMO type game. So the thing that appeals to me most about Dune is it reminds me a lot of Rust, but it's like it's got a lot of the mechanics that Rust has and more. and obviously it's in a specific universe, and I mean, visually it is a very nice looking game, I think. But yeah, yeah. Carnage Guild Base is a thing in the Fife menu. So, I mean, when I'm referring to the Guild Fortress, essentially what the Guild Fortress is going to be is it's going to be my base, and I give access to the guild to access it. Everyone else can go and create a Fife. Like, everyone else can go and make their own Fife, and I'll wholeheartedly encourage people to do that, because the building is a lot of fun. And I've kind of like I've said this before, but just to kind of reiterate, I will be building the Guild Fortress. So if anyone's interested in building, I wholeheartedly encourage you to go and build your own base so you can properly explore it and see how all the pieces fit together and all that kind of stuff, and that's all very, very cool. And also, I've accounted for this in the guild charter. Like, I've kind of said, if you go and build a base, there are certain roles that those bases can fulfill. It's so, yeah, if you enjoy building, then yeah, definitely build your own base so you can play around with everything. Because it's one of the things that was very cool is seeing how people interact with the map and how you build bases. You know, are you one of those people who's just going to build a box? Like in the open beta, you saw people who just built a box because they didn't care about their base. They just built a box. They put the minimal amount of stuff inside the box so that they could get on with questing, because that's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to get from the game. And then you could tell the people who liked building, because they'd be like, box, 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 mansion, box, 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 statue. Kind of like that was kind of fun to see in the open beta, certainly. Building the Arrakis Iron Bank. Go for it, defo. The thing that's gonna kind of throw me. I think it's gonna throw me is to get access to some of the building pieces. You have to align yourself with either the Harkonnen or the Atreides. And to be fair, the devs in their dev streams have also hinted that there might be another major faction. Which I wonder if they've taken inspiration from like Dune 2, because they've got the music for the first two games as like a little radio station in the game. So Dune and Dune 2 back from like the 80s. I can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s. I think Dune 2 was early 90s. But they've got the soundtracks from those games, so they obviously are interested in those kind of things. And I wonder, so like in Dune 2, you had the Atreides, you had the Harkonnen, and then you had the Ordos, who, if I'm not completely mistaken, the Ordos were a completely fictional house for the purposes of Dune 2. I don't believe they existed in the literature at all. And so I wonder whether, because they've hinted that there'll be a third the reason why they want to do a third faction is so that when there are events that the Harkonnen or the Atreides can be in, rather than it being a stalemate, they've talked about wanting to add in a third faction to help break that stalemate. Whether that works out or not, no clue. But I know they've talked about that, so it'd be interesting to see if that leads to another building set. But if it does lead to another building set, that's going to suck. Because trying to get all the building sets is going to be really tricky. Mextron, you get infected. Oh, they're finally fixed. Good. And your feet hurt. Oh, God. Well, have a sit down, if you can. Carnage, if someone else came into your base with them and had the permits, could they? Yes. So that would be a way around it. Carnage, is if you've got someone who has unlocked the other building set, you could give them building permissions in your base. So the way the permissions work is you can have just like an associate who's kind of just someone who's allowed to come into your base. They have certain permissions, but not many. You then have a co-owner. I think it's co-owner. I can't remember, but we'll know in a few hours. So you have like associate, co-owner, and owner. So the owner will always is like, you know, obviously you, and the co-owner has almost all the rights that you do, and I think they can do the building. So yeah, in theory they could do that. Yeah, because so you've got like two basic building sets that everyone gets, and you saw those during the open beta. So you had like the basic survival set, and then you had the chome. You had the chome set, which was a bit more polished, which was what I built my base out of towards the end. And then there's the Atreides building set, and there is the Harkonnen building set, and then there is the Atreides Palace set. The Atreides Palace set I have, because Skaven Daddy is a lovely human being. I'm still not 100% sure why he's done it. I don't know whether this means that he owns my soul. He might do. Joke's on him. I sold that for a donut. And I'll be curious to see what they do with the other building sets. I hope they make them available, because the way they've currently got the building sets set up, you essentially lock yourself out of them, which I don't know. I kind of hope they change that, but we'll see. Mextron, you did it all yourself. Oh, nice practicality. And I love that. I did it all by myself, and then there's just like the bit that's not said, and all I've learned is I will get someone else to do it next time. Yeah. Would you be okay if they went 766 route with base items in a store? Wait, what's the 766 route? Is that something related to Fallout 76? I haven't played it. If it is to do with Fallout 76, I haven't played enough Fallout. I played a little bit of Fallout 76, and my interest fell off really quickly because I think part of the reason my interest fell off really quickly was because I was trying to play it alone. I found the world really dead. I did not going around the world and there just not really being any enemies around. The world felt very dead when I tried to play 76. Like I tried to play it over a weekend, and by the end of the weekend I was just like, yeah, no, not for me. It was very, very, very weird compared to, like, it felt like a very empty Fallout 4. Which might be too harsh on it, but that was just my impression of it. But yeah. Oh, I tried to fix I tried to have a look at Firebot. Unfortunately, I didn't get very far with the website. I'm gonna have to do a bit more Googling. I think what I'm going to end up doing today is I'm going to turn back on Nightbot. I'll turn on Nightbot, and we might just have to go back to manually doing shoutouts, because Firebot doesn't, unfortunately, the website didn't really have the commands I wanted, which was a bit of a shame, because I feel like the commands I want are kind of common. But it is what it is. So yeah, I might just turn back on Nightbot for a bit, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but it's a bit weird. When it must be more. A lot of people use. It must be a lot of people use Nightbot, because when I tried to Google these things, it kept on trying to take me to Nightbot pages, even when I was searching Firebot. So I was like, how do I do this in Firebot? And like right at the top of the search results, it was like, hey, here's Nightbot commands. I was like, no, not Nightbot commands. Yeah, I've got like Firebot in the search string, like going, Firebot must be included in this. And it was like, hey, Nightbot. Do you want to learn about? Do you want to learn about Nightbot? No, I don't want to learn about Nightbot. That's why I said Firebot. Yeah, but do you want to learn about Nightbot? Have you thought about that? Yes, maybe. So yeah, what I'll probably do is I will probably just if I actually before I forget, I will load up. Where is Nightbot? If I was Nightbot, where would I be? Oh wait, yeah, no. Hang on. Hopefully Nightbot's connected. So we've got a slight overlap with commands. And what's really frustrating is we have got a bit of an actually no, I don't think we do have an overlap with commands, because I've been deleting the commands as I've been moving them over. So that should be alright. Is the shout out command still there? Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, I'll leave Nightbot up, and then I will... Where's your events? But I definitely do want to get Firebot working, because it is better. It is better, but we'll have to worry about that another day. Okay, cool. So this morning, now that we're nearly 45 minutes in. Now that we're 45 minutes in, we should do some arty bits, won't we? I'm not going to get this image finished for today. For anyone who's unsurprised, this image is not going to get finished for today, which is a bit sad times, but I got quite a lot of it done. I think the bit where I obviously stumbled the most was when I was trying to get the base perspective, and that I lost a lot of time on that. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Because now I'm just streaming all the time. But yeah, it is what it is. Move around. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh, squeaky squeak. Unnecessary squeaky squeaks. Sorry, just move things out the way. Ooh, got into these. I mean, what I might be able to do with this image is use it as it like with a little bit of polish. I might be able to use it as it is now, and then just try and finish it off at a slightly later date. You know, like if I was to make the right hand side of the image kind of the bits that say like, hey, June Awakening Part 1 and all that kind of stuff, then that would mean people won't notice that bit's not finished. Ow! What did I do? Okay, anyway. Oh, right, you're there. I guess he's waiting for a package. I mean, I presume it's you. That, or this is where it gets really dark and Sado's like, no. I'm sat outside someone else's house. I know a package is going to them, and I'm going to steal it. Just loaded up. Why have I loaded up the calculator? I don't need the calculator. Let's move away from that. Don't check your bathroom. Don't check your bathroom for a camera. Oh, terrifying. Terrifying. You'll have time waiting in the queue tonight. Oh god, yeah. If we just end, if I try and log on tonight and it's just a queue, then yeah, maybe that's what we will do. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just do some artwork while we're waiting to log in. Oh my god, itchy nose. Who am I going to fight with? Who's coming at me with a fight? This nose is itching like a madman. Sado. Oh, you're waiting on a Switch 2 to be delivered. Oh man. Yeah, I saw. I didn't even realize it was coming out. Well, I remember seeing like the promo video of it being talked about. I didn't realize. I didn't know when it was coming out though. And then I saw like a headline. I think I saw a headline last night with people saying a headline last night with people like saying they were like camping out and stuff. And I haven't heard about that kind of stuff in ages. Demon, thank you very much for the subby at tier 1. Thank you very kindly. Much appreciado. Oh, I'm meant to be on the other screen, aren't I? Otherwise, you guys don't see anything. Let's do this. Boop. It's only Mario Kart that's expensive. Oh, they've made Mario Kart. How? See, that's stupid. Well, it's not stupid when your goal is to make money. I understand that. It's not stupid when your goal is to make money, but I feel it's stupid when Mario Kart feels like it's guaranteed sales. Like, make Mario Kart one of the cheaper titles because you know people are going to play that and have to buy a Switch too. But yeah. It's the problem with computer games at the moment, isn't it? Computer games are getting more and more expensive. At least they feel like they are. Unless, of course, you're the guy who's in charge of... What was that game? What was the game where the guys just was saying stupid things about if you're a fan of the game, you'll make it happen? Was it Borderlands or something? And he was just like, yeah, no, if you were a true fan, you'd find the money. He said while supping champagne and bathing in caviar. Several of the games listed were 600, approximately 92 USD, so closer to like 70 GBP. Okay. Yeah, I think, do you know what, one of the things that I think has sheltered me from some of the big game increases, and I appreciate obviously like Dune was an expensive one, Skull and Bones was an expensive one, like I think one of the things that's kind of sheltered me a little bit from game prices is because I enjoy a lot of indie titles, like enjoying the indie developers, but the indie developers are going to catch up. Like, it's a difficult one because I'm kind of like, I enjoy the indie games, and I think one of the nice things that's happened with indie games is the prices have been lower. But their prices are coming up as well. Imagine being someone that buys the 2K games every year like they're 130. Wait, the 2K games? Or are we just talking about when people are buying microtransactions? I was at one point one of those people. I can see why they can brick a console remotely with game prices. Most folks know that playing Nintendo games end up doing those 200 games for 10 deals. Actually, do you know what? Yeah, while the actual bundle, yeah, bundles is probably another thing that actually kind of saved me a little bit from the price. Like Humble Bundle, I appreciate. I have no like if like I have no. I get well. You know, I'm not connected to Humble Bundle, but Humble Bundle was great for picking up cheap games. Maybe a little too good, because I've ended up with so many games that I've never played. Yeah. But yeah, indie games. Indie games, I've kind of been... But on the one hand, I'm kind of like, I'm so happy that indie games are cheaper, and I enjoy them. There are so many of them that I enjoy them. But then on the other hand, I'm kind of there going, it's a bit sad that they can't get as much profit out their game as like the AAA guys get for games that are not as good. Which probably is not the best way to look at it, because then, you know, indie developers are going to be like, hey, let's charge $100 for our game. And we'll be like, oh no, they've gone the same way. Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay, so what I should have done with... I was tempted with this guy to actually get rid of all the scratches. I was thinking about getting rid of all the scratches on this guy. Maybe that would speed up the process. Also, this guy's a mess. He's too short. I've made this guy too short. I've also not done so many things to do with this. There's so many things I need to do with this image for it to be ready on time. I also never came back to the worm. I needed to finish off the worm. I never did that. I've also not done the second character. See, this is a great example of how I'm clearly not going to be able to stream every day, all the time, because I actually need to do things like finish this. Okay. Give me. What is this? What is this layer? I don't know what this layer is. I've got a layer here, and I can't see that it's doing anything. But it's not like a default shape, so it kind of implies that it's something. What if I... Oh, it's... Okay, it claims to be some... Is it that? Is it this? Is it this? Is that all it is? Okay, right. We'll get rid of that layer. There we go. Everything's clean now. We're done. That's not the whole thing, is it? No. I did. Yeah, part of when I was combining layers, I did put all these bits together. Okay. No, are we on the wrong screen? Wait, are we on this screen? Wait, oh no, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, we're on the... Okay, hang on, give me a second. It's doing the thing where the monitor's not on the right monitor. I can fix this. I can fix this. I have the technology. I just have to unplug this and not crash the stream. And then we plug it back in. and then we turn it on again. There we go. You find unknown layers appearing in your art project, so you don't know where they come from. You blame a parallel universe. I just think it's someone from chat. I just think someone from chat is just logging into my PC without me realizing, and they're just clicking the plus button every now and then. Just. Are you back? Are you back, screen? Are you back? Are you thinking about being here? We're back. Okay, cool. We're back. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think when I think about like game pricing and stuff, just when I think about game pricing, one of the things I always take note of, and I think I've heard Pirate Software talk about it as well, is just like they don't have to do physical distribution anymore. Like, it's all digital. Yet the prices reflect digital distribution. And when they physical distribution. And when they do physical distribution, like if you buy a special edition that is a physical copy, then they put it's even higher price because, oh well, we've had to make it. It's like, okay, so when you were making the digital version, why was that not cheaper? And I think that's one of the things that I think that's part of the reason why you see I think that's part of the reason why you see like the indies as cheaper, because they're coming into a world where they never really had to think about physical distribution. Whereas I think the big AAAs like go, oh well, that's what the price used to be, and we obviously don't want to make the price lower. And they just took we don't have to make physical copies anymore as just profit. It was seen as a cost saving rather than a production saving rather than this game can now be cheaper. But I think indies will catch up in the not too distant future. Like, I remember seeing when Manor Lords came out. When Manor Lords came out, so many people were complaining about the price of Manor Lords. Like, there were lots of, like, if you looked at like the discussion boards and stuff and like saw like the social media, people were like, they're going, how dare you charge this much money for an indie title? And it was like, what? And they were like, no, you're not allowed to. And there were people actively saying, you're not allowed to charge this much money because you're not a AAA studio. And I remember I was kind of salty about that. I was a bit like, it shouldn't matter whether they're a AAA studio or not. It should be the quality of the game that is dictating the price, not whether you've got a AAA name against you. And it just, I found it really weird. I found it so weird just seeing people saying you're not allowed because you're not a AAA studio. Not it, and the people saying this weren't saying your game's not good enough. They were just saying you're not allowed because you're not a AAA studio. And it's like, what are you talking about? The game's getting absolutely lavished with praise. The game is a really good game, and yet you're saying because they're not a fashion brand, they're not allowed to charge. And the thing was, he wasn't going crazy with the game price. I think he charged something like £30, which for the quality of Manor Lords, I was like, what? Just what? What are we doing? It was the weirdest argument to see happening on the internet. And it was just this, yeah, it was just this thing of, like, like when you see fashion brands in the real world. When people kind of go like, I'm wearing Armani or Gucci or whatever, and I think I've talked about, I think I talked about this fully enough a few days ago. Like, I'll wear, like, calm down, Max. First off, relax. Max, I hope you sat down. Like, I'll wear Tesco clothes. Why do I wear Tesco clothes? Because they fit. They wear relatively well. I don't care about it, but and the other thing is kind of like, in many cases it's probably the same clothing. It just has a different tag on the inside that no one ever sees. And I kind of feel like that with like indie games as well. Like, I don't really care how much a game charges, as long as the game is worth it. Like, I don't care who's associated with it. So yeah, I found that one very weird when that was going on. And Carnegie's put so much of that into Harry Morpho. Yeah, to me, yeah. Yeah, he went, oh, you're giving me all this money? Oh, amazing. I always wanted to make this game better. I just couldn't afford to. Let me take all this money you've given me and go and make the game better. So for anyone who's looking at me going, why are you just painting over all this? I'm trying. My goal is to simplify the textures a bit, so that I can finish off the other bits with simplified textures. Because I have a feeling when this is looked at zoomed out, I have this problem with a lot of things I do. I have this problem sometimes when I'm doing like writing as well. Is like, I'll end up going into so much detail that I end up creating a rod for my own back. And I've basically done it with this guy here. I've put so much detail in that I'm making it hard to finish it, because I'm making it way more detailed than it needs to be. I've kind of scope creep is essentially what I've done with this piece. This piece did not need to be as detailed as this. So I'm gonna scratch away some of the detail. I'm not trying to get rid of it too hard though, because like, I still think it has some relevance, but just not as much as I did do it. So I'm just trying to give it a bit of a light coating. Essentially getting rid of it enough that it won't look weird when I do this kind of texture on the rest of it. Do 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 do. But to be fair, even like, it's not just the indies, is it? Like, it's not like, while I'm didn't play the game, seeing the way people talk about the game really kind of showed it. Like when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and people were like, "Oh my god, this game's amazing! It's so good!" And then there were devs just going, "Don't expect this from everyone." And it's like, well, don't expect sales like Baldur's Gate 3 then. If you're not prepared to make the game like that, don't expect the same. Don't come to us in a year's time and be whinging that your game didn't sell as well as Baldur's Gate 3. I clipped that for the Borderlands CEO. just who is this guy? Who is this guy? Oh, he's just some bearded guy just having a bit of a whinge on the internet. Well, I'm not listening to him. He's not part of a trip. He's not part of a quadruple A studio. We're not going to listen to him. He's irrelevant. Falls down on the couch. You may congratulate me. I'm onto the floors. Yana. Yana. Just for you, Yana. Congratulations. Woo! There you are. Yeah. Demon. You worked for software houses in the 90s. The industry giants hoovered up the small gaming companies, closed them, stripped the talent. They devastated amazing teams. In the last few years, the indie developers have gained again on the big developers. Yeah. When I look at the effort, and time and stuff that went into old school games, man, kind of wild. You know, like Microprose. When I look at like 90s Microprose, good lord, how good were the games they put out? And I don't know how, like what dev teams they had underneath them, or what, but it's like so good. Or Sierra was great. Back in the 90s, somewhat like, okay, if you were in the industry, back in the 90s, maybe you can answer this for me. Back in the 90s, was there much difference between a publisher and a dev studio? Because like when I think of like Microprose or Sierra, like I think Sierra was more of a publisher, wasn't it, rather than a dev? I think. I can't remember. I don't really know which way round it was back then. Whereas now I'll look at games and, you know, like the publisher will be singing the praise going, hey, you know, there'll be people going, hey, this publisher is involved with this title, and I'm like, great, they're not making the game. Do I care? Unless I see a publisher that's got a really bad track record of backing games. Be like Team 17, which going back in the day, I remember Team 17 were really great and cool. But they don't seem to have a great track record of backing games nowadays. But I don't think they do any development, do they? I think they are just a publisher. And Sado, Claire Obscure got released. I've seen a couple of people play Claire Obscure. And I think this is just because it's, you know, I probably am not the best person to comment on it because it's not really a game I would probably play. I don't think. I never say never, because remember, guys, there's always a price. But yeah, I don't know. I just saw that game and I saw people absolutely gushing over that game. And so I bow to people's opinions of a game that I wouldn't really play. So it kind of, I take their opinions of it, but I don't know, from my perspective, I don't know what was so amazing about it. And as I say, that's why I say it the way I do, because I'm like, it's just not the kind of game I would play. I'd probably feel the same, someone asked me about the latest FIFA. I'd be like, I don't play that kind of game, so I can't really tell you if it's good or not. Yeah. I hope you all... I really do. I really hope you guys all enjoy Dune Awakening. I say, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about Dune Awakening after Skull and Bones. Because again, that was like Skull and Bones. I enjoyed. I enjoyed Skull and Bones, and then it just kind of ended up being a bit of a flop, and I just hope that doesn't happen with this. I've also, where am I up to? How much longer have I got left? I've got 2 hours left on the Dune book. I'm nearly back up. I've nearly had a refresh. I'm nearly fully refreshed. The only problem is it's only the first book. How did I ever think I was going to do all 3 books in a month? It was just never going to happen. What time is Dune? Tonight, Ash. It'll be 7 o'clock. The game is released at 3 o'clock, but I'll be doing it at 7. Have you bought it yet, Ash? Just a reminder, I'm pretty sure everyone here already knows, but just a reminder, there is a Dune section on the Discord, but I have hidden it just so people who aren't interested in the game don't get peppered with notifications and stuff and people talking, because I realise that can be quite irritating. So if people do want access to the Dune Discord, you need to let me know. You don't have to be playing Dune as well. Like just as a side thing, you don't have to be playing Dune. If you're just interested in seeing how people are reacting to the game and stuff, you're more than welcome. It's not a big secret. It's purely I don't want people getting peppered with notifications that they've got no interest in. That's it. No, you want to see how I get on first? Well, I mean, Ash. Wait, Ash, you weren't here at the beginning of the stream. Ash, I can officially tell you now. I can officially tell you that I've been playing the game for the last 5 months. I've been playing the game since the beginning of February. 4 months. 4 months, because really, we've only just got into June, haven't we? So 4 months. I've been playing the game for the last 4 months. So in terms of how I get on, I like it. I like it. I think the only thing that will really knacker this... there are 2 things that will knacker this, one, no one wants to watch it on stream. And two, the servers can't handle themselves. Those are the only two things that'll knacker this for me. The actual gameplay, I am completely on board with. I just realised this wing's too far out, isn't it? This wing is way too far out. It's also not long enough. What am I doing? What am I doing? Actually, no. Do you know what? This might work in my favour. This might work in my favour. Okay, this is too long, but it's not if I move those bits. Sorry, guys. I can fix it. I can fix it. Those two bits, if I move them down to there. And I move that down to there. Make it a bit longer anyway. To about there, I think. Oh, both Nightbot and... Okay, hang on. Both Nightbot and Firebot. Okay, Nightbot. Let's get rid of Nightbot's lurking command. Because obviously the Firebot one works. So, one sec. Delete that. Delete that. That can go. That can go. Oh, I got rid of all the socials, but apparently not. No, we can get rid of those discount codes because they don't work anymore. Don't need that. Right, okay, there we go. Marvellous. Marvellous. Demon, majority of developers back in the 90s, created the game, then handed it over to the publisher. Only when the publishers started to absorb the game companies, that was the start of the destruction of the industry. Oh, so it was back when they when they started combining. I didn't really, so this is me not knowing anything about the how the gaming industry really ran back in the 90s. I just remember games being great. That's what I remember of the 90s. Games were awesome. Um, because what I presumed it was like devs getting large enough that they turned into publishers. So like I presumed that Microprose was a dev, and then just over time they became big enough to become a publisher. Or the same with like Team 17. So I'm presuming then Team 17 was always a publisher then. I don't know. But yeah. A little bit. Odds are the launch going to be a shit show like all of the games, imploding with six. Yeah. Which I say that's that's part of why I'm not going like we're gonna start at 3. It's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna start at 3. Then at 3 o'clock, I'm just sat there going, we're gonna do some more artwork. Yeah. Instead, I'll just see what the state of play is. I mean, if it is a complete and utter mess today launching, I might maybe I just start tomorrow morning. Maybe I just do that. Like, yeah, if it's a complete and utter mess, I'm not gonna. If they present me with like 6-hour queue times, I'm not gonna sit here for 6 hours just waiting to queue in. If something like that happens and it goes absolutely to pot, I have, I'll probably like message Rook and say, Rook, what game are you playing tonight? Let's just switch over. Just go back to a regular Thursday night. Because we don't need to. We all know what a queuing system looks like. We don't need to sit in a queuing system to know what a queuing system looks like. And then tomorrow morning, see, this is where one of the advantages might come from being being in Europe and being on a North American server. Is one of the advantages might happen is when I come to play the game tomorrow morning, it'll be a lot quieter. So this might be one of the things that I'm trying to that might work in my favor going forward, is being on a North American server while being in Europe. And then if I'm streaming during my day, a lot of the North American people won't be on. But that's one of the things I'm just gonna have to see if it works for or against me. One of the things that might work against me though is like we saw it during the open beta. They turned off they did the server restarts morning hour time, because that was like middle of the night for America. So it made sense to restart the servers at the time they did, because everyone over in America was asleep. So that's another thing I'm going to have to try and factor in, is if that becomes a regular, then there's no point in streaming first thing in the morning. So that would work out nicely in terms of we do artwork in the morning, and then in the afternoon we do Dune. So yeah. That's that's just another thing that I'm thinking about, is how will that pan out. Remember to avoid bit. Yeah, I don't know if I've really got a good method for doing that. Quite frankly, what I'm really hoping to see is, because they've announced private servers, with them announcing private servers, hopefully people like Pirate Software, like a private server for a streamer that large, not really that expensive for them to do, is it? So with what would be awesome was if we find out that basically the really big streamers just go and get private servers. I appreciate they don't have to. I'm not saying they have to. I'm not saying they have to in any way, shape or form, but that would be awesome if they did, because then I don't need to find out, a week in that I'm on the same server and that's why I can never log in. Ooh, Shifty! 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 I need your help, Shifty. I need your help. Firebot. Firebot. Your shout-out command for Firebot, do you have it? I've been trying to Google it and I can't find it. Does your it's not via Firebot. No, I thought you were on Firebot for your shout-out command. But, Shifty, you've do you know what? Do you know how much you have destroyed me with this? This is now drawing on the wrong screen. I've got to turn the screen off again. That's how much of a problem you've caused me. I hope you appreciate this. Got to turn this off a second. Give me a sec. Okay. I don't like the fact that this has done this twice today now. That doesn't bode well. Pantheon, enjoy your lurkings. Don't like this, let me explain. This is the thing is he's going let me explain, and this is where I'm gonna look really stupid. I'm just gonna look like a big dum-dum. Right, I don't understand. So you have a shout out command via Firebot, but the same command ties to a third party to provide clips. Oh, I don't want the clips. I'm not interested in the clips. What I want, so Shifty, essentially what I want is what I want is that to work in Firebot. That's all I need. That's all. I just need that bit. I just need that bit, and also for it to pick up the game. That's basically what I want. At the moment, I've got Nightbot doing it, but I couldn't transfer it over, and I tried to do some Googling for it, and I just couldn't. I just can't figure out how to make it work. The other bit I can't figure out how to make it work is oh no, yeah, no, that's it, that's what I need to get to work. Yeah, the other bit I actually figured out, the other bit I solved. You don't do that. Okay. Shall I be... Yeah, no. To be fair, Shifty, it's not like I need this to happen right now in any way, shape, or form. It's a command on Twitch. Like, I don't need it to happen right now. Just like if you guys have got like the code and you can just ping it over at some point, that would be awesome. But I've got Nightbot, so Nightbot is working right now. It needs to happen now. Don't you understand how important this stream is? Look at me. Do you know who I am? But like, it's why I've turned back on Nightbot, because I know it works in Nightbot. And the thing that's frustrating is I've partially got it working in Firebot. So when a raid comes in on Firebot, it now automatically does the shoutouts. So that's kind of cool. I just can't. So like, I've got that bit set up. I just can't get the bit that I just did there, like the manual bit, done. But yeah. And I've seen on Firebot, I think I can do clips on the Firebot as well. I think there's a way to add that in, but I'm not too bothered about the clips. It's more just the chat Firebot thing, which is what I was is what I'm keen for. But anyway, hey Shifty, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're good. What time are we on? Ooh, it's 10:40. Okay. So, for anyone who is completely unaware, this afternoon I'm probably going to be doing a shorter stream. I'm probably going to be doing a shorter stream today because there's a few bits that I kind of want to make sure are definitely ready for tonight. So today will be a bit of the art stream. I'll probably wrap up the day stream around I'll probably wrap up the day stream around 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish. That's my plan to do today. Just because, as I say, I really want to make sure that everything is ready for tonight. We need to plan Schedule 1. We do indeed. We are going into a very difficult time for me, Shifty, to do Schedule 1. But yes, I am very, very keen to do Schedule 1. I mean, when I say I'm going into a very difficult time, the week from today, the week ahead, I'm going to be streaming every day, potentially for the whole day, and it's going to be Dune, with a couple of breaks during the day. And I'm going to be doing that for at least 5 days, maybe 10, if I can keep going without losing my mind. So I have super enjoyed Schedule 1. I don't know if you were watching, Shifty, but I got to Cocaine. And I got to like a net worth of, I think it was 214k. So I explored quite a lot of the game. I didn't explore everything, but I explored quite a lot of the game. And yeah, I'm very, very interested in doing the multiplayer for Schedule 1 because I've kind of already said to you about Schedule 1 anyway, kind of like in DMs, but that game, the people, your staff, I think could do with some improvement.
The arena.
Tetsis 123 just followed.
Thank you very much for the follow. The staff could do with some improvement, and some of the things that I think could do with improving in the staff would be absolutely mitigated by having another person who actually has a brain. So I think that would be pretty cool to do that and just see how much quicker it would make the whole thing run. So yeah, I very much want to do that, but it's probably unlikely within the next 2 weeks. Or Shifty, Dune is going to be a disaster, and I'll want to talk to you about it for Monday night. Who knows? We'll see what happens. You know, if Dune does turn into an absolute disaster, I'll need the weekend to have a little bit of a cry. But then I'll be absolutely ready for Schedule 1 on Monday. I also made the spice melange in Schedule 1. I was very happy that I managed to get that in before Dune was launched. Hello, sponsor. Sorry, Squire, you cannot be here at Rook stream or the Friday stream. I mean, if you're talking about Rook stream tonight, Rook's stream tonight. I feel really mean. I need to preface this that this is a joke, but I just feel Rook's stream tonight doesn't matter because tonight is my stream when I'll be doing Dune, the launch of Dune tonight. So Rook's stream is irrelevant to me tonight. Unless Dune is an absolute disaster, then I'll need a little bit of a cry, and then I'm going to run back to Rook and say, "Hey, let's play some multiplayer games." But yeah, don't waste water like that. Yeah, if Dune is a disaster, I won't cry, because even though Dune was a disaster, the universe says I mustn't waste the water. I'm just there with rags under my eyes that I then squeeze out into just a water bottle and just go, it's important. Shifty, you're trying to use each property for something different. RV... Your RV is not being used, but the motel room is now. Mixing and bagging area. Yeah. Chinese restaurants full of plants. You got a 13, 15 grow tents in there, yeah. trying to maximize product. So do you get the RV back? I did not get the RV back. It was all okay. So maybe that was something I completely missed on how to unlock that. But yeah, no, I had. So the motel. Essentially, what I did with the motel was set up as an emergency production. And what I did was I put a very small amount of stock in the motel so that if I was an idiot and I spent all of my money and I ran out of stock somehow, I knew I could go to the motel and there was enough. There was a setup there that I could essentially just make something to get some cash in. So that's what I did with the motel. The sweatshop above the Chinese was the meth lab. Kind of seemed to work okay. And then the bungalow I had as my packaging and mixing place. That seemed to work okay. And then the storage unit was for making weed. The thing that was not great about using the storage unit for making weed was it was a bit of wasted space, because a botanist can only do 8 things. You could fit twice as much of that in the storage unit, so the storage unit was kind of a bit of I felt like I was a bit of a wasted unit. The barn, I can't really say for definite whether the barn was the right place for making cocaine. It had enough staff. It just never seemed to produce enough. So what I was talking about on Friday? No, what I was talking about on Tuesday, sorry. What I was talking about on Tuesday was actually having the barn for making cocaine, and if I'd had the time, turn the warehouse into making cocaine as well. But I didn't get to that to see whether that would have been super viable. Sure you do, it's on the map. Yeah, no, I always noted that the RV was on the map. Like as a had a little marker icon, didn't it, the RV? So I was always curious what the point of that was. But yeah, I never saw if you could get it back or not. Sponsor, you're on a plane to Germany. Oh, fair dues. Yeah, well, enjoy your trip. Enjoy your trip, sponsor. Shifty, have you got the bar? Yeah, no, I bought all the properties. I bought all the properties. That's how I got to the net worth. That's how I got to the net worth of the 214k. I had all the properties. I wasn't using the warehouse, but I had it. And I didn't buy any of the cars. I did buy the golden keyboard. I did buy the golden skateboard, which was that was great. That was so fast. The golden skateboard was so fast and also jumped really high. But because I had the skateboard, I never really felt like I needed to buy a vehicle. But I potentially did want to try out a vehicle at some point. Guys, give me 1 second. I say 1 second. Give me 1 minute, and I will be right back. Tell you what, last week on the BBC News, they announced that the Northwest was in a drought. The Kingdom of Mancunia has really taken it to heart. It's like it's a monsoon outside. It is. There is so much rain outside right now. It's ridiculous, and I think it's all because they announced a drought. That's what I want to believe. Just Mancunia was like, nah, fam. That's not how we roll. Let me show you. This is our drought. We're all, we slightly misread the memo and we thought it was drowned rather than drought. Shifty, you just go on foot. The vehicle has trunk space. Yeah, I looked at the vehicles and we were talking about, do they have trunk space? Because if they don't, there's really zero point to having them. So I suppose it makes sense if they do have trunk space. Even though they have trunk space, I don't necessarily feel like they're worth it. And when the guys do future updates to that game, I still don't think they're going to be worth it. So they've talked about expanding the map. Apparently the various parts of the map are going to get expanded. So a bigger map, you might go, that's where the vehicle's going to come in. But also, they've said that they're going to introduce you having a rucksack so that you have more inventory space on yourself. And if you have more inventory space on yourself, there's really no reason to have a vehicle because the golden skateboard is so quick. The only downside to the skateboards is, you just need to make sure you understand how to do the jump, do the bunny hop when you get near pavements and stuff. But even then, if you do stop, it does not take long to get moving again. So yeah, the vehicles I just didn't bother with because I couldn't see a really decent reason to buy them. You bought a car and a truck, and they had the same slots. Oh, so even if you bought the bigger one, it still had 5. Right, okay. You kept product on 2 dealers in your pockets, and the third dealer had a trunk. Right, yeah. I get that. One of the things that I didn't learn until the last day was the dealers, if you leave them with empty slots, they will rebag product. So I've been doing things like giving them bags and giving them jars, and on the last day, because I'd pretty much just switched to giving them jars, I was like, nah, they sell what they sell. And then I was coming to them and I've started finding them with bags in their inventory and like less jars, but they hadn't sold anything. And I was like, oh okay. I didn't realize that they could. I didn't realize they would rebag so that they could make sales, which is at no extra cost to yourself. So yeah, you might as well, as soon as you can, just give them jars, because as soon as you got dealers, just give them jars. And I have no doubt that someone probably told me. I'm sure someone did. But I only really noticed it. The thing was, I only really noticed it once I moved to cocaine, because cocaine I was just putting in jars. I never actually bothered with bags of cocaine. And so when I started finding the dealers with bags of cocaine on them, I was like, oh, that's funky. And you don't need to give them bags. They just apparently they acquire their own bags from somewhere. I need to tidy up these lines a bit more, don't I? Need. Okay, how many hours have we got? How many hours? Okay, so just to clarify, Dune Awakening is preloaded. It's ready. It's ready to go. I really am going to have to resist logging in at 3 o'clock. Am I going to crack? Am I going to crack before that time hits? Maybe. Maybe. Hey guys, we're not doing a 3 o'clock start. 3 o'clock gets here. Hi guys, we're doing a 3 o'clock start. Demon, it's a drought. What you're experiencing is the wrong kind of rain. It's not wet enough. The BBC told me so. Yeah, Demon, this is one of the things that you can appreciate, isn't it, when you've been on this planet for a while. Like I have seen that on the BBC. Yeah, no, it's raining, but it's the wrong kind of rain. Like, shut up. You don't come at me with water is not wet. Like, what are you? Douchebags. Oh dear. That damn dry, exactly, that damn hydrophobic rain. Oh wait, no, I've seen where that's going wrong now. You might have to log in at 3 as others might steal your space. It is a risk. It is a risk, but no one would be able to get there that quick. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to get to the spot that I want fast enough. And to be fair, the spot I choose it's all right, guys. It's all right. It's going to be an artist's impression. Okay, so we're not gonna see the game early. So right. I think that's the map. I think that's the map. So when we start tonight, I don't know. Wait, oh god, you can't really see that, can you? Hold on. I'm hiding this too well. Oops. See, if we don't use names, no one knows what's going to go on. So, I think this bit's wrong. To be perfectly honest with you, I think this bit's wrong. I think this bit's wrong as well. In fact, actually, I think this is more... Oh, no. Wrong bit. To be fair, this top bit doesn't super matter because you're not going to see it for a while. Something more like that. Anyway, so you're here. This is what you saw in the... This is what you saw in the open beta. You also saw here. This is what you saw in the open beta. So there's all this other bit that you're going to get to see from how on. However, if you were watching the open beta, it took you many hours. It took you many hours to get out of this territory. So, you know, even when we start at 7 o'clock, when we start at 7 o'clock, we'll be what, 4 hours in? 4 hours in, people will still be here. People will still be here 4 hours in. Now, in terms of where I'm going to build my base, in terms of where the guild fortress is going to be, the guild fortress is going to be here. And the reason why I'm going to do that, and what will probably happen is there will be around here, and around here, and around here, and up here. So these are like the outposts. These are like the trading outposts. And what people tend to do is they tend to build bases near the trading outposts. So what you'll notice, I'm not really near any of them. I'm not really near any of the trading outposts. But the reason why I like this area is it's a good building location. This is a nice building location to do quite a large build. It's not crazy far from these places. Like this one ends up being a bit of a nightmare. People build all around this. They're drawn to building near this one, so I don't really want to be in this territory. But then the other important bit of this base is very quick to get off the map. So if you want to go to deep desert or to the cities, you have to go off map. So it's kind of good that it's there. Get off the map quickly, can get to these quickly. Also, some major resources. Some of your mid and late game resources are here and here, so a lot of people build bases around here as well. So essentially, the reason why I choose this is even though it's not the middle of the map, it's kind of the middle of where you want to be. Like, there's actually, once you've kind of done the quests, there's not really a lot of reason to come over here. Once you've done the quests, not a huge amount of reason. There is still reasons to go here, but just not a lot. So this is where I want to put it, and this is what I was saying yesterday, kind of like strategically, this is kind of good for mid to late game, because it's near the late game resources. It's also not too far from the low level resources if we get new people in, and it's a good building location. So that's my plan. That's my plan. Is that near a lab? There's a lab. There's a lab there. There's a lab there. There's a lab there. There's a lab over there. There's a lab there. So there's a lab we can farm in as well. There's a lab to farm in. I think there's another lab. I think there are some more labs. They're just trying to remember this off the top of my. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. I think there is other labs. So in terms of farming lab resources, there is one right there. So that one's really easy to get to. So yeah. So this is. I'm very keen to get this. You are absolutely correct. Someone could take that before I get to it. That's absolutely possible. If they do, there are a couple of other locations I'll try and get. But what I've noticed about that location in all the wipes, people are so drawn. People are super drawn to building bases near the trading posts, and I just don't see the point. I don't feel like you interact with the trading posts enough to make it worthwhile. Certainly not to the point. Yeah, I don't feel like you interact with them enough to the point where it's inconvenient to be not near them. Certainly when you get one of these boys, when you get these, the travel becomes a lot less of a problem. High level, guys. High level. This is obviously, I'm not, you know, we're not talking details here because I'm not allowed. God, this might be one of the other. Do you know what, Shifty? This might be one of the other reasons why we go to schedule 1 a bit earlier. I might get kicked out of the game. At which point I'll still need to have a cry. But yeah. You'll be fine. I'll be fine on the basis that, you know, I can't imagine anyone from the dev team actually watching this stream. So we'll be alright. If you can dodge a sandworm, you can dodge a wrench. And obviously we have a YouTube short named very similarly to that. You can dodge a sandworm, you can dodge a ball. Oh no! I haven't sorted out the Instagram. Oh, for pity's sake, I need someone to run my social media. I need money. I need money so someone could just run my social media. I need to sort that out. But do you know what? That's something I shall try and do this afternoon. I need to move the YouTube shorts onto Instagram. I need to move my Dune shorts onto Instagram. Matrix, hello Matrix, how you doing? Christina, you got to worry about the. I am incredibly confident that no one from Dune is going to watch my stream. I am super confident. This is where I just get a DM on Discord going, working for Dune. And I'll be like, oh shit. Oh my god. It's fine. When we do the actual Dune stream, I will be, if anyone thinks I'm being weird, I'll be a lot more careful about the things I say. I'm just reasonably certain they're not watching the art stream. That's why I feel like I can get away with it. For anyone who is super confused, the NDA says I'm not allowed to talk about what I know about the game. So there you go. So if we ever... Okay, yeah. So for anyone, if you ask me anything about the game before today, if I start talking about the Turkish barber, that means I'm not allowed to talk about it, alright? There you go. If we start talking about the Turkish barber, it means I'm not allowed to talk about it. The Turkish barber says, shush, exactly. Yeah. If I start talking about the Turkish barber and going, so he pushed my head back and then he came at me with a razor blade, you know that it's to do with the Turkish barber. The only downside with the Turkish barber is that Sado has now decided that I am working on the development of every computer game. And now he won't take no for an answer. Even if I say the Turkish barber. But yeah. Matrix, you're good. Excellent that you are good. And as for how things are going here, I'm trying to maintain an air of composure until I can play Dune. Wait, what video games am I working? See, look at Sado immediately appear. Immediately Sado appear. His ears were burning. That's what just happened then. Ash, wait, what video games are you working on? No, this is the whole point, Ash. Sado has now decided that I'm working on every computer game and has now said that I'm not even allowed to talk about Turkish barbers. Sado has decided that if I talk about Turkish barbers, it means I'm working on every computer game he can find. And this has all been because of Dune. This has all become because of Dune. I wasn't allowed to talk about what I did on Dune. And so that's where the Turkish barber... Well, that's kind of where the Turkish barber came from. To be fair, the Turkish barber, I was just telling you a story about a Turkish barber, and then somehow that turned into... That's going to be the signal that I'm under NDA for something. But now I can tell you that I was under NDA for Dune. That's the long and short. The long and short is I can now tell you I was under NDA for Dune. I just can't tell you... I'm not allowed to tell you any more than that, except my high-level opinion of Dune. Which you already know, because I'm planning on playing it. That's it. That's the high-level info on Dune. You know a celeb. Do you know a celeb? Who's the celeb? Because you were working on it. I was testing. I was in the testing program for Dune. Which was, for anyone who's curious, that it was separate. It was separate to the creator program, which was very frustrating. It was separate to the creator program and was very frustrating because in fact, I don't care about this bit because this bit happened before the NDA, so fuck them. Applying for the testing program very much gave the impression that you were going to be able to get onto the creator program, and then once you were on the testing program, you were basically told, now you're under NDA, we can tell you will not be on the creator program. It's like, motherfucker. If I'd known, I don't know what I would have done if I'd known beforehand. What you do in Dune stays in Dune. Capiche? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. So, like, when I was applying for the program, they actually had a whole section on the application form going, are you a content creator? Do you want to create content for this game? I was like, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Join here. Sweet. Amazing. Cool. Now that you've joined here, we can tell you you're never allowed to create content for this game. I was like, oh, assholes. Assholes. But I did get to play the game for a long time and submit many bug reports. So many bug reports. I was a great bug reporter. I can tell you that. I submitted many. Oops. All that testing seems to have paid off for them, though. Maybe. Depends. It depends. Like, testing's one thing. People liking the game is a whole other matter. At the end of the day, I think one of the things, like, you know, all the testing in the world can happen, but they're always going to hit the problem, aren't they, of different people want things from the game. Like any game. Look at Skull and Bones. Look at Skull and Bones as a great example of, you know, they did testing, they did various bits and bobs with that game. The game came out relatively polished. Like, when I played that game, I didn't really hit any bugs that I can remember. I don't remember hitting any bugs in that game. It's like doing the testing and the balancing and all that kind of stuff is one thing, but actually producing a product that people want is a whole other one. I have no doubt I'm going to see loads of people hate Dune. That is 100% going to happen. That people are going to come out and they're just going to be like, this game sucks. So the testing and stuff and balancing is one thing, but people actually wanting to play this game is a whole other one. Haters love to hate. They do indeed. Haters do indeed love to hate. I think one of the positive things that I will take from doing the testing is the testing has given me enough insight to know whether the game is what I want it to be. So the game is for the most part what I want it to be. It's not entirely what I want it to be, but it's enough of what I want it to be for me to want to play it. there's obviously things I would change about the game. You know, I'm sure I doubt there's any game out there that there's not at least something you'd want to change. At least a little bit, you know. So but it's enough for what I want it to be. Sado, you were a Dune tester under NDA and you never mentioned it. Look, Sado, look, the Turkish barber, he pushed my head back. Then he was there with the razor blade and he didn't really tell me what he was going to do. He just started doing it. And I was a little bit scared, Sado. That's it. Do you know what? If the Turkish barber story, do you know what, the thing is, if the Turkish barber story actually gets used enough in that context, we are going to get to a stage where there's going to be people who don't think the Turkish barber story is real. And they're going to think I just made it up just for the purposes of just like when we're trying to talk about NDAs. They're going to be like, no, that... There's going to be people who are going to be like, no, that story's not real. It's just when he's talking about... when he's saying he can't talk about something. And then there's going to be a bunch of you that's been here long enough and you're going to be like, no, the Turkish story is real. It just ended up getting used for other things. People are going to get so confused. It's gonna turn into some kind of like bearded urban legend type thing. And then one day when I'm dead and buried or just stopped streaming, there's going to be people who are going to go, was that story ever real? Was it ever real? There are some people who say it was. Some people who think it never happened. Matrix, you're going to be a tester for Space Marine 2 before it came out, and they cancelled... Oh, they cancelled the tester program. Oh, that's... That sucks. They just... I wonder if that just means they feel they just... I wonder if it ever got started, or they started it and then they just felt like they had enough test data to not need more. You kind of hope it was that one, if it was going to be any, not just they decided not to test anything. Carnage, removing the build limit in private servers would be a good thing. Oh, you mean in Dune? Yeah, I understand why there are build limits in the game. I do understand why there are build limits in the game, because if you have like, and this is coming from my experience of playing Rust and knowing that some of my builds cause problems for servers. Knowing that when I played Rust, I built things that, you know, lagged the game out. I understand why there are build limits in Dune. I think I would like them to be relaxed a little bit. I think they're a little bit too heavy-handed. And yeah, but you know, if they could do that for private servers, that would be cool. I understand it's a little bit of a balancing issue. I do feel they've balanced it a little bit too much in the wrong direction. But we'll see. We'll see. And maybe a tank. I mean, in the trailers, of the game, they have a tank. So if there's, I don't want to necessarily accuse them of false advertising, but if there is no tank, then what the hell was that in the trailer? Demon, you love building and mining games. It pleases your dwarven soul. I get that. Yep. Yep. What time are we on? We're on 11:30. Alright, yeah. Keep plugging away at this. Could make some real operation bases just for builds and nothing else. The thing when I do builds, I like builds, and I know I've said this to Doc before. I can't remember if I've ever said it to other people, but one of the things I like to do with builds is, like, the way it kind of works in my brain is I want a build that looks like it can be in universe, like it looks like it fits in universe, and it's also functional. Like I kind of those are my bits when I'm building something. So, like, for instance, when I build the guild base, like the guild fortress type thing, there will be a garage for the vehicle, like specifically for the vehicles. There'll be a garage with the idea that you can drive the vehicles in, potentially with different bays, so that people can put their own vehicles in bays. And then there'll be a fabrication level where, you know, all the crafting area is, and then there'll be bays up high for the ornithopters to fly into and park. That'll be separate from the down lower level garage. I want to have social areas where people can gather. I want to do all those kind of things. So, like, I want it to look good, but I also want it to be functional. And then if I was to build, say, like a forward operating base, say like in the deep desert, I would build it differently, but I would still want it to look a bit interesting to look at and be functional. Sadly, and coming to the comment of, you like being able to build and mine and stuff, you don't get to delve deep in this game, which I understand why you don't. I do get it, but yeah, you don't get to, like, build your own cave systems. You can try and build into cave systems that exist, but yeah, you don't get to deform the terrain. Which I'd say, I understand. It would turn into an absolute nightmare doing that in most multiplayer games. I understand Minecraft was a multiplayer game. I do. But I also get why they don't do it in every game. And hell, they tried to give you that feature. Do you know what? Actually, on a completely random segue, I wonder if they will try and bring that back for Subnautica 2. Because during the early access of Subnautica, you could deform the terrain. And so you could build, really quirky bases because you could deform the terrain and stuff. But they took it away because apparently it was... Obviously, because the game had a bit of a narrative going on. If you would have been able to deform the terrain, I'm guessing you probably could have circumvented some of the story. How close am I to finish the image? Much further away than I would like. That's about the only thing I can confirm right now. I've tried to simplify this ornithopter down a bit. Because it was getting too complicated. So I've tried to simplify this down a bit. I've not even begun really this one properly. It's also too short. It needs to be about this long. Like the tail, this tail needs to come out to about there. I've not really done a base. Like there was going to be a little bit of the indication of a base here. I've not done the border on it. The border needs to be done on this thing, which I was intending to put some of the June font with like Bearded Squire into it. I don't necessarily want to do any more with this tactical rock. This tactical rock is essentially done. This guy wasn't actually really fully finished. There were bits I wanted to do with the worm. There's meant to be a whole second character here. Yeah, it was going really well, and then I just kind of lost steam with it. But it's all right because apparently I've got a new subscriber on YouTube, so just got that notification. Yeah. So yeah, and at the moment, I'm kind of like, I'm happy, but on the plus side, I'm happy with how a lot of this looks. Like it's turned out, a lot of it has turned out way better than I thought it was going to turn out. So that's good. Just, yeah, what I really wanted to get this done in a month. That was like my personal challenge to myself, was getting this done in a month, and unfortunately it just didn't happen. But I got relatively close. And now my concern is when is it going to get finished? When is it going to get finished? Because there's going to be so much actual gameplay going on. When am I going to get this done? Though what I was saying before might work in our favor to get this image done, which was the being on an American server. There's a solid chance that when they do server resets and updates and patches and all that kind of stuff, is most likely going to happen during the morning our time. And so if the mornings regularly turn into server resets, then good time for me to keep the art streams running. Which I will make sure I finish this before I move on to anything else, because I still want to use this as a thumbnail for YouTube. So that could, as I say, that could work in my favor, server resets. The other ornithopter I don't think needs to be as detailed as this one, because it's going to be further back. So I don't anticipate the other ornithopter taking as much time as this one. This one's got kind of, you know, what you'd almost refer to as like hero level detail, because it's a lot further forward. Whereas the other ornithopter being further back, I can kind of get away with it not needing to be as detailed as this one. And actually, to be fair, I don't know if I'd necessarily refer to this one as hero level detail. This one's almost like, I can't remember what the term is. I kind of learned the term from like watching some of the making of stuff from Lord of the Rings, when they would refer to the swords. Like you'd have hero level, like Aragorn's sword would be absolutely immaculately made because you saw it up close a lot. But then like the extras weapons and armor would be broken down into like the people stood next to Aragorn would have to have very good levels of equipment, because you'd also see that quite regularly. But then someone who stood like at the back line would not have very good quality equipment, because the viewers wouldn't see it as much. And I kind of try to think of that sometimes when I'm doing images like this. You know, I don't need to put all the rivets and bolts on that ornithopter that's in the background, because no one's going to zoom in that much. I don't always stick to it very well, but I do try and keep that in the back of my brain. And for anyone who's curious, this one, it's not like 1-for-1 accuracy, but this one is meant to be a scout ornithopter, which is a single-seater ornithopter, whereas this one was meant to be looking like a this one was meant to be looking like an assault ornithopter, which holds 4 people, so the pilot and 3 passengers. So it's a bit of a tricky one, because it's further back, because it's meant to be further back. I kind of need to make it smaller, but it's also bigger. So try to make it look like it's in the background, but also account for the fact that it's meant to be larger, is throwing me off a little bit.
Now, let's all have a cup of tea.
So it should really probably be like that. I will hydrate. I have not missed that hydration. I will hydrate. Oh wait. Hold the phone. In fact, I have not hydrated at all today. This is terrible. While I appreciate I did have that cold brew this morning, I don't really count when I have a coffee as hydrating, because it's a smaller quantity in it. You saw a VOD from the developer of a cargo type of ornithopter lifting a vehicle that people can sit inside and fly about in. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Demon, I can talk about that. That's been in the dev blog. So you've got... I'll try and do them very simply. Without trying to lose... In fact, actually, I'll tell you what. I won't try and do this one. But so this is the Scout, holds 1 person. This is the Assault. This will hold 4 people in total. And then there's another one, which, yeah, as you say, is the Carryall. Now, it's not a house carryall, because obviously, as we all know, house carryalls are massive. But the we'll call it the guild carryall before people go, hey, that's not big enough to be a carryall. So the guild carryall is kind of like this. terrible. Done a terrible job of that. There we go. Bring that out a bit more. Tell you what, do you know what? It works in my favour, actually. If I do these terribly, then I can just be like, yeah, well, I've not seen it properly, have I? I've not seen them properly. We're going to pass off my bad drawing skills as just like, yeah, I've not seen them, so how could I possibly draw them properly because I've not seen them? So they're kind of like a little bit like that. And then if we give, I tell you what, we'll grab a little bit of this. We'll grab a little bit of this. And we'll put a little bit of a band on the front. There's like a little bit of a band on the front. And then there's a little bit of a... It's like the carryall. Carryall's kind of got like a little bit of a cockpit going on there.
One of us, one of us, one of us.
I think the actual... Wait, no, where are they? I can't actually... Do you know what? I can't actually remember. I can't entirely remember. Matrix, thank you very much for the resubby. But yeah, they've got like... well, just for the sake of doing that right now, I've kind of forgotten. And there's obviously there must be a tail. There must be a tail. There's a tail on the other two. So there's probably some kind of a tail out the back there. Which we'll put some engines on. It's something like this. I'll tell you what, when we actually see them, they'll be completely different. But it's all right for the sake of the world of imagination. This'll do. This'll do for the world of imagination. Just in about 3 months' time when we have one. Just don't shout at me. I was using my imagination for this. And so they have like they have 8 wings. So the scout ornithopter has 2 wings, the assault ornithopter has 6, and the carryall has 8. And so they're out like this. And so they have their wings. And so yeah, so the this scout one has 4 wings. And it can hold a single pilot. The assault has 6 wings and it can hold 4 people. And then the carryall has 8 wings and it can hold 6 people. And it can carry a vehicle underneath it. Because you will get a harvester. You get to have a harvester. Again, this has been in the trailers and the dev streams. We're not talking about anything secret. And because it's just a small-time scavenger spice harvester, it's kind of like... it kind of looks a little bit like a cement mixer. It kind of looks like a sci-fi cement mixer, the spice harvester that they have in-game, which I'm a little bit disappointed with. I think it could look better. And then it's got a bit of a hoover on the front. So that's kind of your harvester in the game, which, to be fair, it is just like I think it's a single person one. I think it's a single person one, and it's got some tracks on the side. So the carryall's got like a claw on the bottom. The claw is my master. It decides who will stay and who will go. And so that can carry that, and then you have buggies too. Like your buggies are a ground vehicle that can carry a bunch of peeps. It's kind of roughly that shape. And then that's got some separate tracks. It's a quad-tracked vehicle. Which you can make a decision with your buggy. Your buggy can either have more carrying capacity or it can have a turret. The turret can have a mining laser on it. It's very cool. Very cool. But yeah, the carryall can carry those around. Anyway, we're going to get rid of that because that's not staying in the image anyway. It's also a terrible rendition. But yeah, the carry-all can carry vehicles and 6 people. The idea of a carry-all, the thing is, if you're going to have a carry-all, that's kind of where like having a guild of people is worth it, because for it to be really effective, you probably want to have a carry-all carrying 6 people, and then those 6 people all work together to harvest a spice field. Hello, Ambro. How you doing? Saturday, a little chill before the stress. I hope you have a good meeting, man. I hope you do have a good meeting. Can a carry-all carry a carry-all? Carryception. I wonder if you're allowed to, because there would be a situation where it would be... There would be a situation where that would be needed. So I wonder if a carry-all could carry a damaged carry-all. Maybe. I don't know. We'll obviously try. We'll try. When we get to that stage, we'll try. But please understand, the guild having a carry-all is probably... The guild having a carry-all, I would say, is at least 2 months away. And that's even if I do end up streaming every day. Like, a carry-all is a hell of an investment. And even if we have people playing every day, I think a carry-all is probably 2 months away at a minimum. If not 4 months away. Actually, no. Yeah, 4 months away if we were playing really casual. 2 months away if we really powered to get it. But they are a really big investment. Although no, maybe we could do it quicker than 2 months. I'm working on the basis of me trying to do it solo. I reckon it's 2 months me doing it solo. So maybe in a guild, maybe we could do it in a month. Possibly, if we were super organised. But your vehicles can get damaged, and if they get damaged, they can't fly. So, in theory, I think there could be a usage case to say a carry-all could carry a carry-all. Could you not go in a scout and get the harvester out rather than bring it in on a carrier? Yes and no. So okay. Remember, guys, high-level conversation. High-level conversation. A carry-all, while it can carry a vehicle, cannot carry a vehicle off the map. So you remember how we've talked about before. Again, this is dev convo. This has been in dev streams, this bit. But so while we are in Haga Basin, we'll just call it HB. So the PvE server that we're on is Haga Basin. Deep Desert. Deep Desert is a separate map. You can fly a carry-all or an ornithopter or an assault ornithopter. You can fly them between the maps. That's how you're meant to get between the maps. The carry-all, though, cannot directly carry the vehicle under it to Deep Desert. You have to take the vehicle in parts to Deep Desert and put it together in Deep Desert. So in theory, you could fly in a scout. You could fly in a scout with the parts in your backpack or in the storage locker of the scout to Deep Desert. and then you could manufacture, you could put together the harvester in deep desert and take it out. But if you did that, you're going to lose the harvester. The worms will come for you. You need the carryall to be there. You need the carryall to be there to be able to pull that harvester off the sand, because the worms will eat you. So yes, you could, if you were an absolute mad lad, you could go in a scout ornithopter, put together a harvester on the sand and drive that out onto the sand, but it's slow as hell. And you will if you want to lose a harvester, absolutely go do that in a scout ornithopter. You could do that, but it's just a solid way to lose it. If you're going to do the harvester, you need the carryall, because it moves too slow to get away from the worms. Demon, it's a good rendition. When you and your guild have these and are going to war to destroy stuff, you need to play Ride of the Valkyries. That would make a viral clip. It would make a viral clip. The only problem is it would get demonetized to buggery and would most likely be muted. But yes, I would like to play Ride of the Valkyries. Tell you what, if I can find a lo-fi version of Ride of the Valkyries, maybe we could get away with it. Sponsor, you know you're late to the topic. Wait, what? What? Wait, why are we screwing Rook? There's no need to screw Rook. Rook is friend. Rook is friend. Why would Rook not be friend? We're all going to play Dune. But Rook is not playing Dune this week. Rook's buying the standard edition of Dune, so he won't be doing it this week. But he will be joining us next Thursday. And that's when the Barley Brew Brothers content will be free. The only downside with Rook coming to the party a little bit late is it means we can't start the content from the beginning. So I'm going to be a little bit ahead of him. But to be one of the things as well that I do like about the game is if someone is a higher level than you, it doesn't really mean you can't participate in what they do. Because in theory, they could provide you with the equipment. Like, equipment isn't level locked. So if you were, say, like level 1 and I was level 100, the only thing that really changes between us is that my skills are more efficient. But I could hand you the equipment that I've learnt to make at level 100, and I could just hand that to you. So, someone coming in late, if you're coming into the game late and you're a bit concerned about being too far behind the curve, you could join a guild and get equipment. I don't necessarily think that's a good way to do it, but you can absolutely do that if that's a big concern to you. I very much kind of think that it's better to work your way through the stuff, because then you understand how to use it better at higher levels. It's like when people used to talk about buying characters in WoW. I kind of found that a bit of a weird thing to do, because I would find if I was handed a high level character in WoW, I'd be like, I don't know what any of the buttons do. But yeah, so Rook will be a little bit behind, but it's all right because I can help him catch up so that we can do proper Barley Brew Brothers content. Dan, did you say you were looking for people to Dune? What, people to play Dune? I'm not necessarily going to go out recruiting people to play Dune, because I'm happy with just people in the community playing. But if people come along to play the game, then and they're looking for a guild to join, and they want to be part of the community and they want to just have a bit of a chilled out time, then I'm not against people joining. At the end of the day, if they turn out to be a complete knob, they'll just not be in the guild anymore. So yeah, but I'm not necessarily actively going out recruiting. It's we're playing this game. Do you play this game too? Do you want to play? So you don't want to June with me. Got it. That's... I feel like I said the words, and then you completely heard something else to the words that I was saying out loud. I don't know. I don't know how to say this in a different way. Hey, I'm all up for playing with the community. So what you're telling me is you don't want to play with the community. No. I just said I'm up for playing with the community. So you're telling me you don't want to play with the community. No, it's not what I said. Oh dear. Carnage, you're picking up your homies up in 5 days in a buggy and come back to the palace. Yeah, I mean, if you like, as I say, I don't like if you're playing on the same server as me and you've got other friends who want to play who want to play with you. You guys, well, I hope you have all read the guild charter. Anyone who wants to be in the guild, I hope you've read the guild charter, because then there's no ambiguity about how this thing works. If people are willing to abide by the guild charter, I'm not got an issue with them being in the guild. The community is very loose. Who's yours? The June Discord, all of Steam.
Dan.
Why are you like this? Why are you trying to cause drama? You know how I feel about drama. Why are you trying to cause drama? Why are you trying to do this? Why are you being like this? We can have far more fun.
God blimey, Governor.
We can have far more fun by just working together. I have a dream, Dan. I have a dream that we can live in a world with no drama. And we can just play computer games and be happy. Regardless of who we are or where we've come from. This is what I believe. This is what I stand for. If we can work together, we can do something very rare. And that is have fun while playing a game. We seem to have forgotten these things. We've forgotten about all of it. But we can do it. I believe we can. I believe, at least I partially believe we can. I have a little bit of faith. I hope we can. Maybe. That we can play games together. And it can be okay. But look this way, drama means views. No, you see, this is the world that, right, in terms of a world I would like to destroy, a world I would like to destroy is where the only way to get views is through drama. We don't need it. We don't need it, it's nonsense. That's why it's within the guild charter. The guild charter is to say no to drama. You know, we had a whole thing, you know, there was the whole thing in the 90s about say no to drugs. Now it's say no to drama. I need a president's wife to start telling everyone this. And then, to be fair, that probably means people will ignore it more. That's actually a terrible decision. Okay, no president's wife telling us to ignore drama. That didn't actually work well with drugs at all. Forget everything I said. Forget it. What time are we on? Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Okay. So yeah, so the plan is to wrap up at 1-ish probably. I'll probably crack on till 1. And then we'll be back. We'll be back at 7 o'clock my time for Dune. And tonight's stream, if everything goes to plan, tonight's stream I plan to stream till midnight. And we'll do that. Sometimes radical. Hello. Is this an ornithopter? It is, yes. It is an ornithopter, and there will eventually be a second one up there as well. There's also a sandworm too, and a rock. Though to be fair, the rock is not necessarily specifically Dune, I suppose, but it is a rock. There is rock. Oh, I never did that. Never did that thing, did I? Hold on. I've made a mistake, I think. Yeah. That's fine. I'm committed. I'm committed. We'll ignore the mistake, and I'm just not going to tell you, and then you guys will never know. But I will know. And it will haunt me to the rest of my days. But don't worry about it. making. Just one day, just Yana's just there and just snaps. She's just there. She's going, I can't take it anymore. What's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, I know what you did wrong. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm a fraud. And then just I get sent a notepad. I just get DM'd a notepad. She's like, I won't make it public, but I just need you to know that I know. I know what you did wrong in the summer of 2025. Oh my god, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone the mistake I made. And Yana will just be there going, I'm not going to tell anyone. I just want the satisfaction of knowing that you know that I know that I know that you know. I'm like, oh my god. And then I'll have a little cry. Do-do-do-do. Carnage, you can have a pre-due nap. Just too excited. It's like, is this like you're getting close to Christmas and saying like, if I have more sleeps, Christmas will be here sooner. Why didn't I think of that? Why don't I just go and have a nap? Why don't I just go have a Dune nap? Oh man. I should have just not streamed at all during the day. I should have just... Oh, genius. Genius. The one time I decided to do a sleeping stream. Why did you do a stream? I thought you said you'd never do a sleeping stream, Bearded. I couldn't wait for the game to come out. I couldn't wait any longer. I needed the game to get. I needed to get quicker to the game. So we just did a sleeping stream. It's just me in my chair, just. People going, oh my god, can someone turn down his microphone? All we can hear is the snoring. Just the moderators are here going, we don't have that control. He didn't give us control over his microphone. Oh my god, are we just going to have to listen to him snoring the whole time? Yes. Where is this line? What layer is this line on? But this single line. Why is this single? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you not there?
Come here, you mad lad. Under there. You should be... There we go. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. You've been wondering if I decided to skip the morning stream. No, I kind of, like, I could have... I did wonder whether it was worth skipping the morning, but the problem I have, and this applies to every aspect of my life, and so part of the reason why I do a morning stream is because if I don't do a morning stream, I don't start doing things. I kind of need the morning stream to get started. Like, if I didn't do a morning stream this morning, I would have gotten distracted by things, I would have been looking out the window, I would have just not done very well at getting going. So it would have been a wasted morning. Whereas because I've got started this morning, I'm doing stuff, and then when I wrap up the stream in about half an hour, I'll still be on that run to get other bits done. But yeah, if I didn't do the morning stream, I would have just got even less done. I would have got some things done, but just trying to get my brain engaged, it was important to do the morning stream. But yeah, I'll be back in just 1 sec. There's so much rain outside. I haven't seen it rain this heavy for ages. The road just looks like a really shallow river, as does our driveway. Our driveway looks like a really shallow river as well. So much rain. But it's alright, guys. We're in a drought. We're in a drought where I live. Oh, do you know what I do feel bad about? Do with moving the bins. Okay, hang on. Do you know what? I might actually wrap up slightly earlier so I can go and get the bins out the way of the driveway. So, yeah. Pity it's dry rain, exactly. Yeah. Do you have to start building an ark? Well, no, fortunately, because I live on top of a hill. Because we live on the height. I'll take you. So, if you imagine... Essentially, we live near a river. And the... Oh, wait, no. Oh no, has this gone off screen again? This has gone off screen again. That's 3 times today. Why? Okay, we'll try and do this with the mouse. Okay. We're going old school, guys. We're going old school. So there's a river down here. And then the river's a little bit low. It's a little bit... And then there's like nice footpaths down by the river. And then the valley of the valley that it's in is up like this. And then it comes out like this. At my house is like this. So we're quite far up from the river. And then we're pretty much on top of the hill. On the side of the valley. I don't know, it goes up a little bit higher maybe. But anyway, so we're all the way up here. So no, we don't. We are the Ark. We are the Ark. If the river got up to here, there's bigger problems in the world. Essentially, if the river got up to here, where it was causing problems for this house, there's nowhere else to go. If it gets to that point. But this is why I'm saying, like, the roads around the village and the town and stuff, a lot of the roads are at this level. So what has happened on a regular basis is these rivers have flooded only to about there. Like the rivers flood on a regular basis and they come up to about here. And so they take out all the footpaths that are at this level. All the footpaths that are at this level end up underneath the river, as do the roads. So there's been many occasions where we are in this house and we can't leave because all the roads come off the valley, go down to the river level. And so we've been flooded in a few times, but when I say flooded in no way does it affect the house. It just means we can't go anywhere. It also means I can't order takeaway because the takeaways can't get here because the rivers are all flooded. So no, we don't need to build an ark, but I have no doubt that the rivers around us right now are flooded. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But what I have realized is I probably should do the nice thing, and I should probably bring in the bins. So yeah, so this, unfortunately, we did not finish this. Sorry, before I get into this, Demonkin, is the price pre-purchase going to change when it goes live, like going to be more expensive? They have given no indication that the pre-purchase price is a discounted price. So the pre-purchase price, the only thing that we get from pre-purchasing is the bits that are described on the thing. So I'll tell you what, let's go over here. So if we went there. So yeah, these prices, there's no, I mean, Steam would say it. Steam would, like, they should really say it here if these were discounted prices. So yeah, the only difference in terms of the pre-purchase is gaining access to these things. So yeah, the price should stay as it is. So yeah, if you're buying the standard edition, you just miss out on these two bits, the little terrarium and the little color set. And then yeah, the higher editions get these bits. In fact, the only pre-purchase bit is just this bit here. So the only things you're missing out on by not pre-purchasing are the terrarium, the color set, and if you get these two editions, just the fact that these two get to play today. The standard edition does not get to play today. But yeah, so there's no indication that the prices are going to change. Yeah. Save. I was hitting save. I did hit save. I have hit save. While I was talking, then I did actually hit save. Do you know what? The rain. Oh god, the rain. I must have given the rain a bit too. I think the rain's a bit upset with me. The rain has stopped. In fact, the rain has stopped entirely. Apparently me calling it out. There's still a lot of very heavy cloud over us though, so I wonder if it'll start again. The road is still a river. For a little bit. It'll stop though. But yeah. Oh yeah, and when I was describing the valley, that we're on the side of, like, I don't even know how high that is between the two. Probably it's like a good, like, it might even be 100 foot. Might even be 100 foot. I don't know. I've never really thought to measure it. Anyway, right, yeah. So this image, unfortunately, it didn't quite get finished for opening day. I got quite a lot done. I will get this finished. I just don't know exactly when. Probably not in the next week. It's not going to get finished in the next week. But when we bring back the art streams, which should be the week after. So like the week commencing the 16th, we'll have more. We'll finish off this artwork before we move on to other things. But next week, as I say, I'm kind of this is all open to change because it really does depend on when they do their server resets. If the server resets are happening at 10 o'clock in the morning, like they did with the open beta, then I might just carry on doing art streams in the morning, because there's no point in starting the stream, then an hour into the stream getting kicked off the server to wait for a couple of hours. Might as well just do an art stream in the morning, but I won't know that until this thing all goes live. So next week there might be no art streams, because we're just going to try and hammer this as much as possible to kind of go, hey, Dune hype, exciting, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for now, I am going to wrap up the stream. I'm going to go and sort the bins out before my mother gets home in the car, because at the moment they're in the way of the bit in the driveway. I will be back 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be doing Dune Awakening, hopefully. Hopefully the servers will be okay. Otherwise, we'll have to come up with a new plan very rapidly. But at the moment, it'll be Dune Awakening tonight. Worst case scenario, it'll be Dune Awakening tomorrow, and the plan tomorrow is to stream Dune Awakening in the morning, in the afternoon, then taking maybe an hour or two break and streaming tomorrow evening as well. So it's not gonna be 15-hour streams, but it's probably gonna be a 7 or 8 hour stream, a little bit of a break, followed by a 4 or 5 hour stream. And that's the plan for the next 5 to 10 days. All going to depend on how many people watch. If no one watches, I'm not going to do it. But if people are watching, that's the plan for the next 5 to 10 days, and we'll see how it goes. Let's just going to quickly go and check. Burias is streaming, so let's go and drop in on him. He's currently doing RimWorld. This afternoon I'm going to try and have a bit of another look at, see if I can figure out Firebot, because I would like Firebot to be working for tonight. I think that would be good, because I'm hoping there's going to be, lots of people like doing raids and stuff like they did with the open beta. I hope that's going to happen. Oh, she's just got back. I don't actually. I was going to try and rush and do the bins, but she's now doing the bins. Never mind. Yeah, hopefully there'll be like raids and stuff going on, a bit of hype going on with Dune. So I want to try and make sure I want to try and get Firebot working, but we have backups if we don't get Firebot working. Let's get that raid going to Mr. Bruyas. And wait, where's it? There he is. Okay, cool. Get that begun. And yeah, guys, as always, thank you very much for the people who've resubscribed today. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's done a follow today, including over on the YouTubes. That's another thing I want to try and work out with Firebot. If I can work out Firebot and combining chats, I might turn the chat back on YouTube, so that because then I can adequately monitor it. But yeah, that's that. So, if you have been here, thank you very much. If you've been talking in chat, thank you even more. I've told you where I'll be. Whatever you choose to do with the rest of your day, I hope you have a fantastic time. And until I see you in Dune in June, have a great time. Goodbye.